Hi everybody, today I've got 8 New Year's Eve DIYs to share with you. First up is some paper cup party hats. Yep, I'm just using paper cups to create these adorable designs. And these are so great to make for using up scraps of paper, ribbons, trims, bows. We're going to start with a plain paper cup and I'm going to cut the lip of that cup off. So that's the first step. And then we're going to glitter the top. Now for this, I'm using some black chunky glitter. I think it looks really great and sparkly, but you can use ultra fine glitter too. And I'm so sorry today, guys. I have a bit of a cold, so I sound a little stuffy. So of course I'm grabbing my Mod Podge and I'm just gonna add Mod Podge to the very top of that paper cup. So that's the top of our hat. That light is really bright, so that's very hard for you to see. But go ahead and just fill in the whole thing with Mod Podge. And as you can see, I'm making sure that I'm getting that upper lip. So I'm really getting it on all of those areas. This one I only glittered once because I had really good full coverage. But if you didn't have great coverage, you could always let it dry and do a second coat of glitter. So I'm just shaking my glitter on, shaking off the excess, and of course doing that over my piece of paper so I can funnel that back into my jar. So now I'm going to let that dry, and while that's drying, let's go ahead and make our pattern. So you can see I just deconstructed or cut down a paper cup, and I'm going to cut that out of scrap paper. You can use cardstock here because we are going to be Mod Podging this to a cup. You can also use lightweight papers. You can use wrapping papers. There's some gorgeous ones out there. You could even do this with paper napkins if you had a light colored cup. So go ahead and add your Mod Podge to the back of your paper. And remember, I just cut that out of my pattern piece. So I just cut down my cup to create the shape, and then I cut that from scrap of paper. Let's go ahead and line it up with the seam on the cup and wrap that around and just really wrap it tightly and get that seam matched up. Okay, so everything is dry and now we're ready to move on to the next step, and we're gonna work on the brim of the hat. And the brim is this base part here, and that's done with scrapbook paper and scrap cardboard. So I used a bowl to trace this circle shape, and I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge that circle onto this scrap cardboard. The cardboard isn't going to be seen, so you could upcycle a cereal box or whatever you have. I'm going to Mod Podge the back of the scrapbook paper. Now I just did a different gold and white print, but you can really make these as wild or as mellow as you want with your paper choices. Go ahead and Mod Podge that down to my scrap paper. And I'm going to press that with my fingers. And once that's dry, you can cut out the circle shape. I've got one here that's already dry. So we're going to have another circle shape, which is a circle that is with a circle on the inside. And for that one, I did some black sparkle paper. You could also glitter cardstock if you wanted sparkly brim. So I've got the big circle and then the circle with the circle. So for this one, I'm going to turn it upside down because we're going to glue it in this direction. So you can see the printed side goes down, then we're going to have the cup, and then we're going to have the black part. And this will all make sense as soon as I trim that away. So for this part, I'm just going to trim away the top of the cup so that it will fit in between the two layers of the brim. I highly recommend doing this after you've cut the brim shape because each one of these is handmade and hand cut, so it's not a real precise measurement. So go ahead and put your circle brim piece down. Then I'm going to cut slits around there, and that's going to make it so that that paper cup can fold back and glue down onto the paper circles. So I'm just cutting about every ½ inch or so. And you can see now we can easily fold those back, and those create little tabs that we can glue down. I'm just going to fold all of those back, and then I'm going to glue that to the center of my solid circle, and it's the back side of the solid circle. The print side is down. I'm just using hot glue. I think it's the quickest and fastest way to do this. Plus it's very durable with the cardboard. So go ahead and glue that to the center. Don't worry if you're not exactly precise, you can always trim this up afterwards. So glue that down. I'm using a hot glue gun finger cap there so I don't burn my finger. And then go ahead and glue your rim on top of that. So you can really start to see that little hat shaping up. So we're going to add hot glue. I'm working quickly here because I don't want it to cool while it's in my hands, and we'll go ahead and place that onto the top of the cup, the top of the hat, I should say, and then press down really quickly while that is warm so that you can kind of flatten that hot glue. Really pressing those edges down. And again, don't worry if you have a little overhang like you see there. We're going to trim that away. Plus, once you have all the ribbons and trims and details on here, no one will ever notice. These are all little handmade hats. So just trimming that up. And for this, I'm using different types of trims to finish it off. Some little tiny decorator trims. You can do ribbons. You can do all different kinds of trims. You can even leave it plain like this. So for this one, you can see I've got my glitter on the top and I'm doing some gold trim around the base. I've got silver on the edge there, the gold thick decorator trim, some rhinestones, a button, and some of that pearl spray. Now those pearl sprays you can find in the floral department. Sometimes they're like with wedding accessories. They're used for boutonnieres and corsages and things like that. So I'm just hot gluing this trim around, and of course you could use any kind of glue here that would work for fabric to paper, but again, hot glue is just so fast, plus it's very durable with this trim and this paper. Let's go ahead and glue that around, and once you have your hat completely decorated the way you want it, then you will be able to glue it to a headband. My big recommendation with the decorations is think about putting them where you want them to be seen. So remember that seam, the back of the hat, maybe you don't want to feature that seam. Okay, take a look there. You can see I've got the hat hot glued to the headband, and then I'm going to just cut a little piece of trim here. Grosgrain ribbon works here well too. And I'm just going to glue a strip of ribbon over where I've glued that to a headband. And for the headband, I usually put the headband on and then I kind of put the little hat where I want it to be and then hold it together and hot glue it in that spot. So for here, I'm just going to finish that off by hot gluing a little piece of ribbon over that headband. And look at how cute these all turn out. They're all so different, but you can imagine for a party how fun these would be. Okay, next up, we are going to do some glittered champagne bottles. And it really doesn't get any easier than this. The trick to this whole craft is that we're going to seal this glitter with more Mod Podge. So I've got one of these mini bottles of Stella, and I am just painting the Mod Podge over the entire bottle. I used a detailed paintbrush along the edges, and then I used a thicker paintbrush in the other sections. This is just straight up gloss Mod Podge. I'm painting it onto the bottle, just going around that label. Of course, you could put your own label on there if you wanted to. Just working all the way around it. Now, ultrafine glitter works best for this project. I'm sprinkling that onto the bottle, and I'm working in sections. This is just the first section. And once that's dry a little bit, I'll go in and add the next section, which will be the back section. It's too hard to Mod Podge it all at once and get it even. So let's go ahead and Mod Podge the rest of it. I give it about 3 or 4 minutes to dry a little bit. That way you can kind of blend that line together and you don't get a hard line. Let's go ahead and add all your Mod Podge to the back side and then go in and glitter again. Now we're gonna let this completely dry for the next step, and then we're going to brush off the excess with a dry brush. There's nothing on there, it's a dry brush. And we'll funnel our glitter back in to our remaining Mod Podge there. So I've got a little Mod Podge in a dish, and I'm gonna funnel that extra glitter in there to create a glittery Mod Podge, and then I'm painting that over the entire champagne bottle, and that's going to seal all that glitter in and make it so that it's very user-friendly. Look how cute these all look. Let's get ready to party with a bunch of quick, easy ideas. First up is glittered champagne flutes. Now these are glass flutes, and we're going to tape off the top lip area, and we're going to tape off the bottom. We're using Dishwasher Safe Mod Podge here, and to prep it, I'm using rubbing alcohol onto the glass. And once that's dry, you're going to coat it with the Dishwasher Safe Mod Podge. Steve's using a flat 1-inch brush here. That's going to give you the best, smoothest brush strokes. Go ahead and sprinkle your ultrafine glitter on top. And you're going to let that dry and then top coat 3 more times with Dishwasher Safe Mod Podge. That's going to be 3 more top coats with a dry time in between. You can remove that tape across the top, and you can clean up that edge within the first day by using a handy wipe. And you're going to let those cure, and look how cute they turn out. All right, next is a tiered tray. This started out as a clear tiered tray from IKEA, and we're using fabric to decorate this. I've done 2 of the trays, and let me show you how you do those. So I've got my tray, and I cleaned it with the rubbing alcohol. We're going to turn it upside down, and then I'm adding fabric Mod Podge to the back side. That's the underside of the tray. Then I'm placing my fabric print side down onto the Mod Podge. Now I'm top coating with more, really getting those edges. And don't worry about that milky look, it's gonna dry perfectly clear. So I'm gonna let that dry for a few hours, and then I'm gonna trim up the edge. And you can add a little bit more Mod Podge just to seal that edge down. Then I'm just putting my tray back together, and look how cute that turns out. So ready for appetizers. This is super easy. I know you all have seen these paper mache stars. They have them at all the Dollar Trees. Just go ahead and add a little Mod Podge to that, and then sprinkle your glitter on top, and you've got some festive little decor. Those I'm not even top coating, but look how cute they turn out. All right, let's take a look at our Cheers banner. For our Cheers banner, I'm using fabric again, and these are some chipboard panels, and I just took fabric Mod Podge and glued the Mod Podge and the fabric to those chipboard. And then I'm just using stickers, like large jumbo stickers, to spell out Cheers. You could spell out the year or whatever you want. And then I'm just threading that up with ribbon. This is so easy to do. You can really take any fabric and Mod Podge it to cardboard. All right, now is our last fabric craft, and this is a party tray. And I picked up this party tray, I think it was at Target. This was actually a couple years ago. And then I'm going to just go ahead and Mod Podge in this fabric. Now here I'm doing the fabric Mod Podge. If you wanted to really seal this in, you could do resin. Look how cute that all turns out. Okay, now if you haven't tried Mega Glitter, let's make a quick toasting set. This is so easy to do. I've got these Dollar Tree plastic champagne glasses, and I'm just going in with gold Mega Glitter and tapping that on. And for this, I'm doing 2 coats, 2 light coats. And you can see here, this is what 1 coat looks like dried, which is very pretty for that peekaboo look. And then I'm gonna add a second little layer on top of that, and that's what 2 coats looks like. Now for this, I'm just gonna add some of this cute little trim just to finish it off. Look how adorable this turns out. And I use that same Mega Glitter on a champagne bottle, or I guess I should say on a sparkling apple bottle. And I just did a thick coat and got this really cool kind of sparkly look on the bottle. Go ahead and add a little paper tag, and look how adorable this turns out. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. I hope you have a really great Happy New Year.